Hello and welcome back, you beautiful people. Today we are back and we are about to complete the quest real quick that I was talking about in the last round. Basically, I went to go pick up the note and now I'm going to confront Kalga with the note just to make sure that the druids are here as well when
Seems like a
we
good moment to
bring
talk.
the goblin army over here.
I wish I could
Um,
offer. I hope this.
so let's talk to Kalga real quick and confront her with the note. Um, it's a very
Why are you
exciting
here? I
adventure,
sent
and
you
I
to
actually
Zevlor.
really enjoy this little like side
What?
quest.
That damn
I love
nose of
that
yours
everyone
has
just
gone
sat in
poking in
silence,
our
just not
business.
understanding what was
Mistress
happening there.
Ollerton, I
You
can
know,
explain.
the thing that I never understand here
Shh.
is how
No
the heck
need.
did
It couldn't be
they
helped.
not
Korga,
understand,
what is
with
the meaning of this?
like
You
how did
think
Wrath not
yourself
know?
quite the
Because
spy,
I
don't
feel
you?
like there are so many
Go on, tell him.
druids and people that shapeshift into different animals. And if you looked at one of these rats, why would you not at all be suspicious that they're always following around
What in
Kalga?
the cloakwood? Korga, have you lost your mind?
Halsin is weak, Wrath. But in
Well,
the shadows,
Halsin
we are
was not
strong.
weak. He was
We are
actually
safe.
a very hard fight,
There is no other way.
but he's also
You
dead,
and
so I'll give you
Halsin
that.
welcome untouchables to your midst. You defile the grove for the
And
sake of
the
harmony.
main reason I
Ollerton
don't like
speaks
the
truth.
the
Who
Shadow
among you
Druids is
disagrees?
because they're
Druids see
racist.
this grove in ruin.
And so yes, so I am definitely going to try to convince Kalga to come back to
The
me. Not
choice is
because
made.
I want her to live,
Koga,
but
burn
because
the taint of the
having her
way.
as an enemy
Start
is
with the
so
snitch.
annoying.
As you say, Ollerton.
So I'm just gonna have to pass some quick skill checks. These are not hard at all. I do have a -1, but I also have a +2, so it kind of balances out. And all I needed rolls of 15, which all honestly shouldn't be that
It,
hard, and which it
it
wasn't.
trembles in shame. It knows that in harmony we perish. In shadow we are pure.
Korgo's voice breaks and her lips tremble. She heard reason in your words.
Me being the ultimate druid, um, you know, continued to persuade her and said, "Nah, bro, being bad is trash, dog." Um, because I'm probably the nicest person Kalga has
When
ever met.
when the darkest hour fell, it was us that brought light. Sylvanas demands we illuminate shadow, not hide within it. How was I so blind? Careful, Korga. The shadows don't forgive. I belong to the shadows no longer. You've no power over me.
Yeah, Kalga,
You would
join the good
question
guys
my
again.
power. Mother Earth, hear me. Grant me your wrath.
And so now we're gonna begin this fight, and I will say this fight is pretty easy, because they don't really do any spells other than shapeshift. That's probably the only thing. But you know, Kalga's also probably one of the dumbest people I've ever met. I think she cast Moonbeam 3 separate occasions, and then broke them each time herself. It was quite amazing to watch, all honestly. Seeing her do that multiple times, and I was just in awe after seeing her do it not once, not twice, but 3 separate times. But nonetheless, it was a pretty easy fight. Um, I'm just going through, killing these shadow guards real quick. I'm just skipping along because most of these are just like, oh, attack him, attack him. Um, I then right here is when I decided that I wanted Kalga to die during this fight, but if I attack her directly, they will all become enemies of me. So I needed to figure out ways to mess with her, but not attack her with something. And so right here, I'm just kind of, you know, just using whatever because I don't want to really waste my turn attacking because there'll be less chance that Kalga dies. And so right here, I'm just kind of, you know, watching the fight, seeing what I'm gonna do, and I decide that if I use a grease, I could then use a fire, and since I'm not attacking her directly, they won't get mad at me. So I do just that. I throw down a grease, I go in here so I don't get hit again like I did previously, and then I throw down an alchemy fire, and I do some decent damage to her. It's really just so she gets burned. Um, you know, I did it twice to her, and here again, I believe I throw another alchemy fire at her. This was I think my last one. I was debating if I should like use this, but I didn't want to take the chance that she would aggro into me if I did that. So I was like, okay, well, the only thing I really have left is, you know, another alchemy fire. So I did just that. Threw another one on the ground, making sure I didn't target her with it. It hit her, obviously, and she took some nice damage. She was pretty weak, pretty low, and I was kind of scared that they would kill. She was gonna kill my not my enemy, because she's not really my enemy. I don't really care about her, but I was really scared she would kill her before. But luckily, Gath missed as she walked away, and then killed her, which was so beautiful, and it was so helpful for me, so that I could then just go ahead and finish her off. So yeah, it was honestly, it was a very easy fight. Honestly, it didn't take that long at all. Probably took maybe like 4 minutes. I then, you know, talked to Wrath and talk about the tragedy of her dying. It was so sad.
When Koga shirked her duty, you upheld it in her stead. Let this gift be our thanks.
And basically, I then became the leader of the Druids because I upheld justice today. Like I always do, right? Because Donald J. Rump is a man of justice and law.
You howl like wind. You are Faith Warden.
I am Faith Warden.
A Faith Warden speaks with the authority of the four elements. When you speak, the circles will listen.
That's very true.
Go forth and let your might be known.
Yeah, so basically, I became the leader of these people, and this staff is pretty trash. I just can't be ensnared, and by difficult terrain and stuff like that. It's not really that great. You get an entangle, but that's really it. So after that, I can now complete what I wanted to complete, and that was attacking the camp. So I go over here, I make sure to see if I do get a reward for Zevler, because remember, I already stole his gloves. So I want to make sure that he gives me something.
I'm sorry it had to come to this, but she left us with no choice. Thank you. We still have the goblins to contend with, but you've given us time to prepare. I'll ensure my people make the most of it. It pains me that I have nothing to give you in thanks.
And as soon as he said that, I was done. I tuned him out, and I was like, okay, these guys have only asked for stuff, and have given me nothing in return. So this was the moment I decided that, yeah, you know, killing the tieflings and killing the druids was a good thing. Because what did the druids do? They tried to kill the tieflings. And what did the tieflings do? They asked for a whole lot of stuff selfishly without giving me anything in return. So honestly, I'm the victim. Donald J. Rump is the victim in this situation. And so, what should a victim do but go to the goblins? Because the goblins will take care of this, you know? So at this point, I'm just kind of like going through the dialogue. I don't really care that much because I want a reward, and he's not going to give me rewards, so he's useless to me. And so yeah, I'm just now going to wait and I'm gonna go take a nap so I could bring the goblins here. So I go to bed here, and upon waking up, I wake up on a
Volo
table,
carefully holds
and
one of your eyes
Volo
open and begins
is
to prod
performing a little bit of a
uncertainly with the
lobotomy on
needle.
me.
The needle finds the gap between eyeball and socket. Volo frowns and begins to push. Pain shoots through your body as the needle snags on your optic nerve.
I think I have it.
The needle seesaws back and forth, plucking the nerve like a harp string.
Oh, bother. There's some obstacle in the way. I shall need a more robust implement.
Volo carefully withdraws the needle from your eye. Then, reaching into his bag, he produces an ice pick. Volo slowly brings the ice pick closer to your eye.
Now, don't move.
Cold metal presses against the skin beneath your brow. And then, tap, tap, stab.
Do you feel that? Ha! I think we have the blighter on the run. I agree. It's a feisty critter. Just a little further.
Volo tears the pick from your brain with a violent jerk. Your eye plops down into the mud.
And yeah, that just happened. I pass out.
He pauses, looks down at your eye, and recoils slightly.
Yeah, Volo
as it
basically
sinks
killed
into
me.
the mud.
And I then wake up afterwards, and apparently God gave me a second chance after Volo brutally murdered me on the operating table.
You have a habit of turning up where you're least expected.
And
but no less
you know, in
welcome for
response to me getting that
spotted
second
goblins in the
chance at
woods.
life, a redemption in
happened at
life,
camp?
I changed. I realized that, you know, was I really a good person? Think about all the things I've done that have been so evil and heinous.
Truly.
Like,
Hells, I didn't expect it. We were almost ready to leave.
yeah, no, I don't got anything. I think I'm actually a really good person. This changed
There's
nothing.
nothing for
My
it now.
redemption arc is still
A
on
fight
its way.
it will have to
Why?
be.
Because I
threw them
never
back once.
needed a redemption
If
arc.
you're with us,
I was
perhaps
always
we can do it again.
perfect. Donald J. Rump was always a man of nature and
What I have is no
friendship.
We need to thin their numbers quickly
And
if we're to survive. Every
yeah,
ounce of
friendship.
oil that we could
That's
spare
yeah,
has
that's
been
what I am.
buried out in front of the gate.
So
We'll
I
drop the
continue
hole to draw
to
them in and pray
plot
our
my
fire arrows
way
strike
that I'm going to
true.
kill the tieflings, and it was a little difficult because they do have fire resistance, and I didn't want to just outright
Good. She's expecting to
say
find us
that I was
weak
with
and
the
desperate.
goblins
And
because
she's not wrong. But
I
she'll
wanted
find
them
you
to
waiting See to your
think that I was
preparations
with
and
them
then
until the
sound
very
the
last
horn.
second.
Let's have
In
this
which I would
done.
then betray them, and it would be ever more sweeter. So right here, I just now prepare for the fight by first destroying the concealed oil barrels so that my goblin friends don't get hurt.
Here we go again.
First and foremost, that was very important for me. And then I already opened the gate, but for some reason, my goblin's friends decided that the gate it still needed to be attacked for some odd reason. And so even with the gate open, they don't do anything. I then tried to lure them all over here with music, and it works, but then they all just walk away. So I had to decide a new strat. So I just decided to just kill Zevlar. I feel like he was kind of annoying.
First step is
And if
the
I could
hardest.
even, you know, kill the person in there too, it'd be very helpful.
Again.
Sadly, I didn't do enough damage to her or Zevlar, so they didn't die. But I just then, you know, attack all of them with my my thorns, hoping that the AI would just walk through it, because sometimes the AI is really bad
Cursed to put
and
my
will
hands on
just
everything.
walk through thorns to get to you. But I actually got kind of unlucky with this, and right here I'm just trying to figure out like how to get the goblins to come, so I don't have to fight these guys on my own. But I had to wait an extra turn because it takes an action to summon the horn. So I do that. I then continue to attack. You know, all these guys, they're they're whatever.
Keep going.
I do some pretty good damage to him, and then I walk backwards, and this is where I made a mistake. Because on my next turn, I thought it would be a good idea, because I don't have enough allies, obviously speaking, I don't have enough allies. So what I do is I decide to summon the gang, right? And you'll see right now when I sound the horn what happens. So I summon the horn. They come, and right now you're like, okay, well that's not a big deal. Like, what's the issue? You'll see right now what happens. Because they are neutral mobs. They aren't enemies or allies. They are simply neutral mobs. Neutral mobs being the ones that have a yellow bar around them. And so a spider attacks them, and then everyone hates me. And so now I am at war with literally everyone. And right now I don't notice it. And so I'm still a little puzzled why everyone's red. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's just a glitch. So I go down there, and nope, they all attack me, and I pretty much am dead. I was like, wow, what a tragedy. So I obviously reset, and this time I just summoned these guys right away. As you can see, that Zevlar is basically full health. I got unlucky with that roll. It's fine. It is what it is. But this time I'm not going to summon them with the horn. So make sure if you're doing this fight, don't summon your companions with the horn, because they will make everyone hate you. I then I'm gonna use my two-hand crossbows that I got from Damon, and you can see the damage. It does really nice damage. That basically did 20 damage, I would say, like around like 15-16 damage. So very good damage, because you got to think about all the buffs I'm getting. So after that, it was pretty much just cleaning up. It was a pretty easy fight, I would say. We do get some items from Damon. Whenever a trader dies, they do drop a few items that they have in their inventory. I got pretty lucky. I got some pretty decent stuff. I walk around for a little bit because I don't really see anyone necessarily. So I was a tad bit confused. But I just go around, I start checking all the doors, making sure that there's no one hiding anywhere, and then I follow the bodies over here, and I see that this is where all the tieflings went to go hide, and I saw this as a absolute win, because I knew that I could come in here and use my spike growth, because there was nowhere for them to go, so they had to walk forward. I then attack, her. She's most likely going to die right away anyway, just because there is so many goblins in here, and then also Minthra or Min something. It doesn't matter what her name is. I forget it. It'll come to me in a second when I see it. But yeah, so I'm just going through this fight. You'll see that it's gonna end like basically right away. As all of them just decide to walk through the thorns. And this is what I say about the AI. You could see that they all just instantly died.
This place is home to druids. Root them out and kill them.
After this, she just tells us to go kill the druids, which is pretty easy. I real quick loot all the dead bodies. I then go down here just to make sure. And they did kill the kids as well. And I was, these are probably like my favorite companions, so I wish there was a way to save them. But obviously there wasn't. So then, yeah, I go down here afterwards, and I start attacking all the druids that are down here. Since a lot of them had died within the walls, there was basically no one alive. I think it was about like four people, and one of them was the traitor. Um, from up above. So it was a very easy fight. Like no one really did any shape shifting. I say the only one that was, I wouldn't even call it difficult. The only one that was more of a nuisance was the healer. Just because she actually did use spells. As you could see, she cast the flaming sphere on us. And so now I'm going to target her because I know that, everyone else is going to die. And so you could see that I'm now attacking Nettie. And I do pretty decent damage right here. I also, I break her concentration because most of my attacks do multiple separate instances of damage. And each of those rolls like concentration. So I break her and then I pretty much next turn just kill her. So very easy fight. That's all the druids and all the tieflings. I'm not sure why this is shown as a legendary. So I equipped it and it then turns back into an uncommon. So I'm not quite sure what was going on there, but it's probably just one of the many bugs. I then go down here. I make sure I steal the artifact because, why not? Because it's just a free advantage on nature and animal checks. So it's very useful. I then go over here. I go pick up the Mind Flare specimen.
It can enhance you.
I'm not gonna use them regardless. I wanted to pick it up just so you guys knew where it was, but I'm not gonna use these because, like I said before, I feel like using these powers trivializes a lot of stuff, and I'm already making this run really easy by making a summoning build. So I don't feel like I should allow myself to use this. Afterwards, I go over here and I insert the tablet that Halth had, and I go down here. Normally, you will get this as a reward after you kill all the goblin leaders, but since we're starting with the goblins, we're getting it this way. We just had to activate all the tablets afterwards, and then we get this reward. And honestly, it's a very mid reward for the amount of effort you have to put into like killing all the goblins. Like I feel like the druids could have give you something better. But you got Sorrow. It's a pretty decent spear. There are betters out there, but for this early game portion, it is pretty good, I would say. You also get some robes, which are an absolute joke. I was actually offended when I saw these because I'm like, wow, this is what I was gonna get. So yeah, it's basically just money to me. You could see Sorrow right here. He also has an ability, which is basically the lash that druids get, where it just pulls enemies closer. But this was actually important that I forgot to grab. So it says whenever the wielder is healed, the weapon becomes coated in magical damage, which basically gives you poison damage. So that's just going to be another instance of damage I'm going to have. So I'm going to have necrotic and poison on all my crossbow shots. So that's going to be super useful. Afterwards, I go down here and I speak to Minthara again. And she goes on her whole little spiel about,
exquisite carnage.
ecstasy and, all that. I had to cut some of this out because it was getting rated R. But it was a fun thing that we did here. So I wasn't super sad, and I was actually really excited to have her as a companion because this is the first time this ever happened.
She has given you.
And there is a scene that I do cut out after the party because of obvious reasons, and I was just like, oh wow, that wasn't what I expected to happen. So yeah, so right here it is almost basically like the tiefling party, but instead of tieflings it's obviously goblins. And so this right here is where I'm just like, okay, time to jump skip to the to the party because
Fear there is no
I'm like,
place
oh
in your
gosh.
company for a hero.
Will
I'm not
obviously
part of
leaves us
this.
because
Nor
he
of you.
thinks we're not nice people.
The goblins praise the
Which it is what it
absolute, but their
is.
celebrations also honor their leaders, Minthara and you.
You fought well, and so did these creatures, thanks to our leadership. When you tire of their company, come to me. Tonight, you are mine.
We did get another Mind Flare specimen as a reward, which is pretty cool. So if you want another one, that's another way to get one. So it's pretty useful. You're basically making up for the ones that you would get if you killed all of the peoples. But anyway, my beautiful people, thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.